Hey Capricorn, welcome to your October 2020 reading. Trust that when you get the message is when you're supposed to get it, even if it is not October 2020 when you see this. Also keep in mind that the roles can be reversed and vice versa. And cross-watchers welcome, and I hope you all get something out of this. If not, maybe just not your message this week and try again later. And if you're happy at the end, you can like, share, and subscribe. I'd appreciate that. Okay, so without much ado, let's get started. Okay. So we have the star. Oh my God. Let's put it in there. Can't get out. Okay. So we have the High Priestess, the star, and the Nine of Swords. So I think that you recently went through a really dark situation that really affected you mentally. It could have been kept you up, tossing and turning. Just so many things, I think. Could have even had you in insomnia, confusion, guilt, shame, fear, kind of just like your worst nightmare. Maybe just an absolutely nightmarish situation or situations came about. And I think what you found is this actually kind of gave you a new sense of, in an odd way, optimism and healing. I think you probably had a really bad situation that happened. You kind of had to pull yourself out of it, follow your intuition, and maybe also follow your spiritual compass to kind of get you through it. And it sort of put you on a path of healing. So at the time it might have seemed just like absolutely awful. And I know Capricorns have been having a rough few years because of the Saturn thing, especially this year. But I think it led to a lot of healing. So you were just like, oh, can anything get any worse? Like, really? And like, why does this... Will this ever stop? It feels like maybe you solve one thing and then one more thing happens, but not petty little things, just like big constant things happening. But I think that sort of put you on a path of like where you're supposed to be, if that makes sense. Like, I think you really sort of went through the fire and are coming out a diamond, and you might feel a really sense of who you are authentically and spiritually and within. And I think you're thinking, okay, I'm going to learn to trust my intuition now, from now on, because I was right, and I think that now all these rough lessons that you put you into this Nine of Swords energy has now led you to become your authentic self in your own truth and in your own power too. And you sort of are probably relying more on yourself for validation and self-worth now, not looking outwards towards anyone else to give you validation or validate your self-worth or tell you who you are. I think you're really coming into a space of power within yourself and healing that you know who you are authentically. And I think you might be feeling recently a renewed sense of hope and optimism and maybe faith as well, whereas you quite possibly could have been losing it there for a while. So great energy. So that's recent past. You could also be more into your spiritual practices now, whatever those may be, just different for all of us. I think you're really maybe following your higher guidance now and relying on that to guide you, rather than trying to control everything yourself. I think you're becoming quite happy to leave it up to the higher powers that you trust and believe in to kind of take care of situations from now on. Great. Okay. So current energy for the Capricorns. What do you want me to tell them? Okay. So there could be a sense of karma or balance restored after a toxic situation too. So whatever caused this was because of this devil. This devil could be a toxic relationship, an addiction of some kind, somebody in your life that's an addict or toxic. family member, job, whatever it could be. So now I think you might have gotten some kind of justice in a way. I don't know if it's like directly or if you can sense it or see it. I think you're letting this go as well. You're got the Five of Swords at the bottom of the deck. So, okay, my Five of Swords is like, I hate to throw this word around all the time, and I seem to be doing it lately. It seems like all the narcissists in the world are coming out to play and get exposed. So you very well could have been dealing with a narcissist, because we have the Devil reversed, we have the Nine of Swords and the Five of Swords. This is my card of a narcissistic mind playing, mind games, gaslighting, lies, manipulation, power games. Just somebody who's kind of sick, you know. You might not have seen that they were like this at first, but now you do. The good news is that you probably went through hell with this situation, whether it be your parents or your boss or your lover, but they're losing their power, and there's a sense of balance and justice being restored. So you might be thinking to yourself, that someone's getting their karma, or you got justice, or the sword of truth came out about this person, and its power over you is fading away, and so is this person's power over you. I love that. Okay. And then you have like 4 major arcana as well. So this is very serious. This was a really big thing in your life. This wasn't you just dated a guy for, you know, that you didn't really care about, and then you went your separate ways and he didn't call you back or something. No, this was like massive. This massively impacted your life and probably changed you in a lot of ways. And it could have also not just been this one person. This could be a whole cycle. Like, you could have met several of these over the last few years, and it's like you might be feeling like, okay, this is the same situation on repeat. Why do I keep meeting the same devil with a different face type of thing? But justice, I think you are finally maybe getting some justice in this situation, or this person's getting kind of what they deserve. And you don't want the toxic anymore. I think you want a sense of balance and truth and honesty, and you want that's what you want in your life now. You want the healing and the to be true to yourself, and a sense of fairness and honesty and justice. You don't want these anymore. You just don't want these types. Okay, good. Anything else for the present situation for Capricorn? Okay, yeah. So again, this person was probably extremely emotionally manipulative, plays the victim of the situations that they create themselves. So they're the ones that create all of this toxic shit, and then they turn around and like play the victim, like they've been victimized by it somehow. But their power and their influence and their manipulation is totally falling away. Like, they're just, I don't know if they're being exposed finally, or you're just see the truth about them. Whatever it is, and whatever grip they had on you, it's fading out. All right, so that's the current situation. Upcoming energy for Capricorn. Let's hope it's good. Okay, I'm going to shuffle it. I really hope it's good, because I'm a Capricorn. Okay, and it's been rough. It's been so rough. Okay, upcoming energy for Capricorns. Good start. 3 of Wands. Let's get a couple more for Capricorn. All right. Yeah, it's okay. So I think you're turning your back on this. You no longer want this. And you're looking for the future. I think you have some solid foundations that you've built for yourself, but it's just the beginning of solid foundations of moving on. I think you still might be a little bit affected by the situation, but you've turned your back for real this time. I think you were like really trying to turn your back before, but you just kept getting caught in this stagnant energy, like where you couldn't let it go, and like ruminating and obsessing and going over and over and over it again, maybe going over how toxic and bad and manipulative this person was and just couldn't stop thinking about it and ruminating over it. And you're like, will I ever stop obsessing about this? But it looks like you are. Okay, so we have the Death card and the Three of Wands. So I think you've definitely, it's done. There's no hope of reconciliation on your side anymore. And there's no desire to work things out. There's no, you don't need this person to come back and even, I think an apology would be nice, but you don't need it anymore. I think you're just so done. It's over. Like this person, I think in a lot of ways is dead to you, you know, like not literally, but you're just kind of like, you're dark at my door and you're starting a brand new cycle. So I think you've learned the lessons, these hard lessons about toxic people, toxic situations, and really learn to only have people and situations in your life that live in the light, right? With a sense of balance and justice. You don't want this anymore. No more people like this. And you're ready to start a whole new cycle, and you have a whole new sense of self-worth, and you feel really guided. And I think your intuition is like right on point. So this, you're letting it go for real. It's done. Back's turned. It's over. You're starting new. You're going to take a leap of faith into the future. I think you're feeling quite optimistic about your future as well, too. And I think after everything you've been through, I think you are really having a feeling of like, I got this. I can, after this, all of this, I can handle everything, anything, you know. I think you might have been feeling really just exhausted by the last few years and all the events that have happened. And now I think you might be feeling like the energy becoming a little bit lighter and a sense of optimism coming back, and also maybe a renewed faith in justice and karma. Like I think maybe for a while you were losing faith, and now you're starting to realize, okay, like there is a sense of universal justice and karma for people like this. They do sometimes get what they deserve, even though half the time it feels like they don't. They just get away with it. I think you're starting to see that maybe they don't always get away with it, right? Cool. Let me just get one more. Let's get some advice for Capricorn before we sign off. What do you have some advice for Capricorn in the upcoming energy here for them? What do you want me to tell them? Okay. So yeah, I think you're starting to feel a sense of emotional stability and emotional fulfillment again within yourself. You're thinking to yourself, the advice is to find the emotional stability within yourself and to embrace both your dark and your light side. Okay? So sometimes your dark side is there to protect you. Don't always be in battle with it. You know, if somebody was horrible to you and you were like, said some mean things back to them to make them back off or back away from you, sometimes that's all people understand, right? Like sometimes you got to go low. You can't take the high road all the time. And then if you feel bad afterwards, understand that sometimes that dark side that is there to protect you. So embrace the dark side and the light side of yourself, because sometimes that shadow side of you is actually there to protect you, as long as it doesn't completely overtake you and turn into the devil like it has with this person, right? I think this person's shadow, or the situation's shadow that you dealt with, has overtaken them more than their light has. So yes, hold on, one more piece of advice here. I just want to clarify that for a second. Clarify for... Okay. Also, the advice is right now, if you are single, don't focus on a relationship right now. Just kind of focus on your healing and what you're doing, and don't necessarily search out a relationship at the time right now. If you are in a relationship, try to find a sense of equilibrium or truce. Ace of Wands. Okay. So again, You're at the start of a new cycle. So you might be having some projects or passions or things that you're interested in kind of nurturing, and just kind of work on that. And also practice like a lot of self-love, like treat yourself like you would a beloved child. You know, like nurture yourself the way that you would nurture your family members. Think about how well you take care of everybody else, your children, your friends, your lovers. The advice is to start treating yourself that same way too. I know Capricorn has a really like a way of, when a Capricorn cares about somebody, they go above and beyond for that person and taking care of them and making sure everything's stable and balanced and doing the absolute best that they can to do that and to make sure everyone's taken care of. And the advice is to make sure that you're also treating yourself that way too. Okay, Capricorns, so if this, I hope you got something out of this, and I'll catch you next time and see what's happening next. Okay, stay safe out there.